Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I got an interesting video that pretty much kind of illustrates how women get caught up wasting their own time, and then they'll blame the men that they're with, that they're wasting time with, for the wasted time, under the guise that these men have led them on, that these men have lied to them, that these men have manipulated them in some way or something of that nature. So I want you guys to listen very carefully to this video. You got to listen to what he said. And here we go.
128. 128. That's all it takes. And what's your excuse?
I haven't found anyone to marry.
128. Then they're cute. They're cute. And if you want to be more expensive, they're over here. Which I wouldn't want that one. That's all it takes. What?
Now, did you guys hear what he said? They're at Walmart, and she takes him over by the rings. And she's pointing out engagement rings. And these engagement rings are not even $150. These are less than $200. And then she moves on to the slightly more expensive ones, $500-$600. Okay, which in the world of engagement rings, very cheap, very inexpensive. I'm not gonna say cheap, I'm gonna say inexpensive. So this woman who's been with him X amount of time, long enough to believe that a marriage should have been due. So this is probably some years that they've been together. And they're over by a counter with rings that don't cost much at all. He can probably come out his pocket with that in a paycheck. This isn't going to break anybody's bank unless you really don't have any money. And so when she asked him, this is the key part. When she asked him, "What's your excuse?" he said, "I haven't found anyone to marry." Right then, right? And she continues to film as if he didn't say that, or as if he was joking when he said it. And he's not playing. He's not playing at all. He meant every word of that. He hasn't married her yet because he doesn't want to marry her. Now, for all intents and purposes, we don't know who's fumbling who. We don't know if she's fumbling him or if he's fumbling her, because honestly speaking, he's got a woman that's willing to take $128 Walmart ring and be happy. Right? So she's either really in love with him or she's really desperate to have a man or have a marriage. Right? But either way, whether she's the type of woman that he shouldn't be fumbling, but he fumbling her anyway, or if she's messing up in the relationship and this is why he has not chosen her for marriage, it actually doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter why they're at this point, because when he say that, it's done for. I haven't found anyone to marry. She went back, guaranteed you she went back home with him and continued to play house with him and continued to be frustrated and continued to maybe be even resentful about the course of their relationship. After he says it, he even smirks. She probably thought that because he smiled, that he was playing. Listen, women, men tell you how to love them, and they tell you how to leave them. Men tell you how to love them, they tell you how to keep them, and they tell you how to leave them. Okay? Even men who call themselves being manipulative in certain situations, eventually they tell on themselves. He with her because maybe she provides something that he want, something that he like, but whatever that is, it's not enough to make him say, I don't want this woman out of my life, and I want to solidify a relationship or a commitment with her. Okay? Do not let men tell you they don't want you. Stop staying with men that tell you they don't want you. Stop staying with them. Because what it turns into is you start wasting your own time. You start breaking your own heart. You start creating your own resentment. Like, this is what I mean by women playing a part in the type of tomfoolery that goes on in these relationships. And then they'll get out of the relationship and say, man, that was X amount of time, that he led me on. But you got to be able to read the room, though. Okay? Because one thing folks going to do is tell you what they about. They're going to tell you. It's up to you to not misinterpret what you heard or not to overlook what you heard. Because a lot of times we do that. All of us have been guilty at some point in time of overlooking the red flag, overlooking when somebody tell you who they are, overlooking when somebody tells you what they're about, overlooking when somebody tell you the truth. And if that truth doesn't jive with what's already in our head or what's in our heart or what we want it to be, then a lot of times we're guilty of just sort of rationalizing it out or somehow overlooking it or somehow playing it off like it wasn't really what it was. And like I said, everybody's been guilty of that at some point. Right? We've been guilty of having an idea about a person or wanting a relationship with a person. And even when they kind of tell you what it is, you be like, nah, that ain't what it really is. No, that's what it is. Because one thing that I found is that people can't produce out of them what's not in them. If he can fix his mouth to tell you while he's with you that he ain't found nobody to marry, he'll never marry you. He'll never marry you. He'll never marry you. It's done. You can stay there if you want, but if your goal is to be this man's wife, you might as well pack that up. You might as well pack that up because he's not going to do that. Not with you. See, this is how you get into situations as a woman, being 15 years in with a man, finally reaching the end of your rope and saying, you can't do this anymore. And then he'll leave, y'all will break up. And then a year later, he's married to a woman he only knew 6 months. And you feel a way because how much time did you invest in a relationship that went absolutely nowhere? And this is when people start feeling manipulated. This is when people start feeling used and lied to. And it's a betrayal as well. I'm not saying that the other person is right. I'm not saying that it's right to waste nobody's time. Because a dude knows if he's wasting your time. He knows he's wasting your time. right? If a man is time wasting with you, he knows he's time wasting with you. So he has his own accountability for that. But as women, with time being of the utmost importance for us in terms of a relationship, we have to be a little bit more proactive about it. Because they're not gonna be. If you got a dude that's intent on wasting your time, he gonna do that for the next 20 years if you let him. Okay? Because he doesn't have the type of biological clock we got, things of that nature, right? So his reality 15 years down the line might be very different than your reality 15 years down the line. That's why I'm talking to women about it. You cannot let folks waste your time. Ladies, don't let these men waste your time. They will waste your time. If you get especially a male hyena, if you get one of them, they are masters at time wasting, honey. Do not get caught up hoping he gonna change, hoping he gonna see something different, hoping he gonna behave or respond differently to you. He will not. He won't. There's literally 0.000000001% that he gonna change his outlook with you. He'll change his outlook with a different woman, just not you. And I know it doesn't feel good. It doesn't sound good. You don't like that. When I was in situations like that, I didn't like it either. Like, wait a minute. And I had to take accountability. You kind of wasted your own time though now, didn't you? Because think back. This was said, this was done, or more importantly, this wasn't done. And you overlooked that. Why did you overlook that? Because you want to give it a chance. You don't want to quit too soon. You know, you don't want to be one of them people was too quick to pull the trigger, but really you should have had some more patience. It's like that may have its space, that may have its time, but that ain't 15 years worth. That ain't 10 years worth. It's really not. Gotta listen to what's being said to you. That man straight flat-footed told her that he is not gonna marry her. So taking him over to them engagement rings, I don't care if they was cost it a quarter out them little old school little candy machines. You know how you put a quarter in a little bubble gum come out, remember them? I don't care if it was a little ring pop ring come out of one of them and it cost him 50 cents. He wasn't gonna get it because he ain't gonna give it to you because he ain't trying to have you as his wife. He don't want to marry you. The cost ain't the problem. He clearly said what the issue was. He seen them rings. He know he could go get a cheap ring somewhere. He don't want to marry you, baby. I hope she figured that out. Hope she figured that out. I don't know if she got kids or not, or whatever the actual situation is deeper than this clip. But this is why we be saying marry before you carry and stuff like that. This is why, because you be with people for X amount of time, you mess around and get pregnant. There was never a commitment. And then it'd be devastating to go so many years down the line and realize this person was never going to do that regardless. But now you have an attachment here in the form of children, in the form of, you know what I'm saying, putting things together with each other, like the old folks say, shacking up and playing house. That's why you can't play house. You have to get the commitment. Men know who they want to marry. So it's been 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and he has had every opportunity. Y'all living together, y'all doing everything married couples do, but he don't even so much as take you to no courthouse. He don't take you to no church home. He don't take you nowhere. Y'all ain't even so much as hopped over the broom. oh no, this is a time waster. This is still time wasting, and women have to take some accountability for that, the time wasted. And when I say time wasted, I mean years, not a few months, not even 1 year. Anyway, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, Sister Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.